all things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful. The Lord God made them all. We share the earth with millions and millions of species of plant and animal life and all creatures, from ants building a colony in a tropical rainforest to a family of elephants sashing through an African savanna, have a critical role to play in the ecosystem. While scientists continue to record new forms of life, countless species disappear every day. The focus of biologists and environmentalists is on the preservation of endangered species, but, in fact, all animals are endangered by the darling of creation and greatest predator of all, man himself. We significantly impact the balance of nature by the choices we make at the dinner table. We are so far removed from the cruel act that we overlook the reality that to sustain ourselves, we are constantly taking life. Animals are no more immune to suffering and pain than we are. Although their behavior is instinctual, they often display remarkable intelligence when it comes to preserving life. Observe how a dog puts itself in great danger to save the life of its owner, or how any animal will protect itself or its young when it feels its life threatened. We all want to live. Humans are also animals. Although we have mastered many of the forces of nature, we are still subject to the same process of birth, growth, and death as other organisms. But it is our ability to think, discriminate, and to choose that sets us apart from the lower species. What we choose to eat not only affects our own physical, spiritual, and emotional health, but it also affects the world in which we live. The relationship between humans, animals, and plants forms an interconnected web which is fundamental to life. The first step in healthy living is to maintain this fragile web by living in harmony with nature. Respect for the creation is not just an ethical imperative. It is a necessity of life. The order of nature is this: life must subsist on other life. Only plants draw their sustenance directly from light, water, and soil. When we choose to eat plants, we are still taking life, but it is the simplest form of life. Even human law provides a different punishment for snipping a neighbor's rose, killing her chicken, taking the life of her dog, or murdering her child. Although the penalty varies according to the level of consciousness, a balanced sheet is kept and plays itself out. The wheel of life turns. We do reap what we sow. The animals we eat in this life may be eating us in the next. Francis of Assisi used to call animals our brothers and sisters, but many of us have difficulty in acknowledging this kinship because we see only the body, which is different for all. We have been in this world before, and we have had other bodies. We are hardly free of one before another stands ready to replace it. It is only after many births that we receive a human birth. If, because of our karmas, we are born as a cow or a goat, we are not eager to be slaughtered in order to satisfy someone's palate. As humans, we have the unique ability to look beyond the body to the soul within, and, in this way, to consciously experience God. The soul, which is the essence of our being, remains largely unknown to us. It is like living in a house where the light is never turned on. The soul has the same relationship to the body as the light or other source of energy has to the house. We depend upon it to supply light and energy to our existence. The available power is always there, but when we turn it on, we become connected to our source and we feel energized and well balanced. We feel alive. Scientific studies now support the value of a vegetarian diet, and there is evidence to suggest that it lowers the risk of many diseases, including cancer and heart disease. People are turning to it in ever greater numbers for its health benefits and its effects on animal welfare and the environment, as well as for its spiritual benefits. Killing creates a load of karma that is carried like a heavy suit of armor as our soul transitions from one body to another. When we restrict our killing to the simplest forms of life, we free ourselves from much of that weight. Avoiding this burden is a strong motivation to be vegetarian. Aside from the benefits to our environment and our health, many people choose to eat plants rather than animals because doing so is good for their souls. As a principal law of creation, karma makes us accountable, sooner or later, in this life or in another, for every single thing we do. Understanding the inevitable workings of karma is a strong motivator for making compassionate, wise choices to shape our lives. By the law of karma, life will deliver to us only the crops of seeds we ourselves have planted. When we recognize that our experience of pain is rooted in pain we have caused others, we begin to learn to act differently. As we taste the fruits of our positive choices, our desire to be loving increases, not simply in order to receive love in return but because we are pulled by its magnetic attraction. We want to respond to this magnetism and to minimize suffering, our own as well as others. Choosing a vegetarian diet is a natural outcome of this desire. In doing so, we distance ourselves from the violence of a world where life subsists violently on life. We decide to eat plant-based foods, rejecting the idea of living off creation's more complex forms, animals, fish, and fowl. This choice is a spring from which happiness and all other positive feelings can flow. When we act with compassion and caring as we choose food, saying yes to the rainbow of vegetables, fruits, grains, and beans grown around the world, we are choosing kindness many times each day. As we use our minds wisely to make compassionate choices, we are responding to our deep desire for happiness and fulfilling our natural ability to reason. By committing ourselves to living with compassion, we choose to fulfill our longing to live in a circle of love so large it encompasses all and everyone. We can use reason, and we can love.